Happy New Year. It's now 2025. If you would kindly, if you're entering the meeting, kindly mute yourself as you enter. If I can't get to you quick enough, thank you. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. It's January 14th, 2025. We're a little bit after 7. Thank you for your patience as we began our meeting. It's so wonderful to see you all with us. Welcome. I know we've all been shoveling up snow, and the new year has definitely welcomed us with a lot of new weather. I'm personally from Florida, so it's really fun for me. But I understand for a lot of people, it has not been fun at all, shoveling up the snow. But we see you out there making sure the neighborhood is safe and clean and easy to walk in. And we appreciate all your efforts in making the neighborhood what it is. Our meeting today will be a little bit shorter as usual than usual because in our January meetings, we don't have a presenter. So we won't have a specific discussion unless someone in the meeting raises a question or raises a discussion that needs to happen. Really, our January meeting is just about coming back together after a pause, going over what we've accomplished in the past year and reviewing that for a bit, and then also talking a little bit about some upcoming items. So without further ado, we'll begin with our board reports. And I just want to bring to your attention a couple things that are coming up that you should either add to your calendar or just be aware of. This Saturday, January 18th at Dorothy I. Height Elementary School, there will be a community-wide meeting, and we're really hoping that everyone attends this meeting. It's in regards to a topic that we talk about literally every single meeting, which is the West North Avenue Development Authority. That authority was started, I believe, in 2021, where funding from the state level was given to the corridor starting on, I believe, Mount Royal Terrace, all the way down to Coppin State University to revitalize the North Avenue corridor. It's mirroring a similar organization that was started on the east side and is trying to do similar things, which is to return vacants into specifically commercial buildings into use for the community, streetscaping, and a whole bunch of other things, which I don't need to spend a lot of time talking about because you can hear all about it in this meeting on Saturday. So those are the general topics. I think this specific meeting has been somewhat in response to some concerns about this particular authority seeking the right to eminent domain. And that has raised some flags for a lot of people. So that will be part of this discussion. So if you have concerns, questions about that, or if you simply feel completely in opposition or completely in support of that, right, this is the meeting for you to attend. It's really important for you to attend this meeting if this is an issue that concerns you. And I believe it really concerns everyone in the community. And the other topic of discussion will be around Senate Bill 4, which is pretty much giving the full authority of West North Avenue, the West North Avenue Development Authority. It's something that is a state Senate bill that you can look up. I wish I had the link for you right now to put in the chat so you could read the whole bill before Saturday. I really encourage people, if you have the time, to do that. That way you can come to the table with questions. I see the role of RHA as we formed as an advocate for the entire community, north to south, east to west of Reservoir Hill. And we have been at almost every single West North Avenue Development Authority meeting since 2021, advocating on behalf of the community and raising concerns about the different decisions that the authority has made for our community or hasn't made for our community, and just made sure that we had a seat at the table for these discussions. However, there have been some vision plans that were published that I think you also should take a look at if you haven't been to previous meetings and look over those. But understand the authority, Wanata itself hasn't purchased any properties in our community, hasn't made any decisions around how the future of our community looks. And we're really, because of this work that Wanata has been doing is really what spurred the conversation about a neighborhood vision plan and the importance of that vision plan so that when state authorities like Wanata are making decisions for our community, that we have something to put forward as a vision for that. So for those of us who have maybe not have been a part of those conversations, you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I know that was like a very, very broad overview of a very complicated topic. So if you have any questions or you need me to slow down and answer anything, please feel free to put in the chat. I would be happy to answer them now. A couple of other things that I just want to raise to your attention because folks have emailed me about receiving offer letters in the mail, and we had a really broad discussion about that from Amtrak. I'm sorry. We had a very detailed discussion about how to respond to an offer letter or the different approaches that you could take to the offer letter in our October general meeting discussion. I don't believe that I know that our meeting is not online yet for October, and we're working on that to get that online so that you can review that meeting. If after watching that video you have more questions, I'm happy to meet with everyone as a group or individually, or perhaps we can steer people towards the BP Tunnel Working Group meeting to kind of talk through those questions. But we are here as a resource, but it's really difficult to answer these questions one-on-one just because of time, and we're all volunteers. So if you could look at that meeting video first, and then let me know if you have any additional questions or concerns or any way that I can help, I'm here for that. And then I just want to bring to everyone's attention that there was a grand opening for the bodega or corner store type installation in Tune-Up City. I think I just saw Eric Johnson join, so he's probably maybe able to talk a little bit about that, but I just wanted everyone to know that it is open, or it seems to be open. I drove by it. We were not able to have a follow-up discussion with the folks that were opening the store on the direction they were going to take for that or what day they were opening to really talk about that. So I don't have any other details, but I just want you to know that that is the case. And that is basically all. The other updates that I have for you is I just want you to make sure that you know that all of our meeting recordings will be online on our website. And I kind of just want to show you really quickly. Let's see. How do I do this without it being? I'm going to stop my share real quick. Okay. That way you don't have to see all the junk on my desktop. And I just, because I know that I'm very familiar with our website, but not everybody else might be. I just want to let everyone know what's on there, really broad strokes, not in detail. So that if you are needing to contact someone or you're reaching out or you want some information, you know where to go. So this is our homepage, and generally it will, in this area, will tell you like the most important, most urgent thing. And this is particularly about the offer letters from Amtrak. We had a call for action to oppose a city council bill, which actually never went through, which is awesome. So those are the kind of things that you'll see on our front page. If you want to see our bylaws and any information about our articles of incorporation, you can go to our about. We also have tried to put some of our press online, and then we'll be working on our year-end reviews, but here's our one for 2023, and it just kind of gives you an overview of the types of things that we do. The most important thing I think on our website is our calendar, our community calendar, where you can get at a glance what's going on in the entire community. And I just want to pause for a second to say, if anyone is here from an organization and your meetings are wrong or an event is wrong on the calendar, please, please, please let us know. Email us at board@reservoirhillassociation.org, or you can email Melda directly. But I think it's easier if you email the board because we each kind of we update this. It's not all just Melda's job to do this, but maybe that's one way we can do it. But just look online and just make sure that your events are accurate. Or if you see something here, see that something is not here, let us know so we can add it. The goal here is to put every single thing that could be going on in our neighborhood on the calendar so that anyone moving here, anyone that lives here, anyone that's in the community can put this on their phone. They can put this on their personal calendar, or they can just check the website whenever they want and kind of get a sense of what's going on in the community. Also, each committee has its own webpage to kind of just tell you a little bit more about what each committee does and who the contact person is and how you get in contact. Obviously, someone has been really busy at work on these web pages because they're really they're way nicer than they were the last time I looked. But I don't know who that was, but shout out to you. If you're curious about joining a specific committee or you want to know more about a committee, this is where you can start and kind of get a sense of who's running them, what they're doing, etc. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows about the planning committee, planning and development committee webpage, because it also walks you through the importance of using 311 and how to obtain a letter of support. So those are really important resources. We can add more neighborhood resources. This is kind of just like a very skeleton set of resources, but we wanted to put every meeting that we attended for Amtrak where they're presenting, not really when they just do ones that you walk around, but when they're actually presenting information, we record them, we put them on our YouTube, and then you can go ahead and watch those videos at your own pace. These are our press releases, and then of course, how to contact us, who we are. This probably needs to be updated because
I want you to see. Oh, okay, hold on.
sorry. But that you'll know our faces and who we are, and kind of get a sense. And obviously, I think we'll be talking about this a lot more later in the meeting, but we have some openings in our board, and we really want people who are in good standing with the organization to really consider volunteering your time as a committee person. And we'd really appreciate if you would consider doing that. And if you're interested in that, please free to reach out to any committee chair or anyone on the board, and we're happy to have a coffee, a tea with you, walk through what our days look like, what our hours look like, so you can get a sense of that. And then finally, it's that time of the year again for our membership dues to be submitted. So these are the different ways that we can submit our membership dues. They are, I believe, $12 a year. So we wanted to make sure that dues were not anything that would be an obstacle to people participating. So that's the general overview. And then you can also search the site. There's a search function if you wanted to find something specific that you're looking for. But I just wanted to share that with you. Most importantly, that the membership meeting recordings can be found. They're here if you just go to the membership meeting recordings, and you can look at all of them. And this, I hope, works for most people. We were having trouble with this. So when you have time, if you can take a look and see if this works for you, you can also see files for our general membership. And what should be in there are meeting recordings and our minutes from that month, and any other information, I'll go to, sorry, it looks like our minutes aren't there, actually. So we'll have to talk about this, but it's supposed to be where um, our membership meeting minutes are so that you can kind of get a sense of what's going on. And those are published after each meeting at the end of the month. So any questions about that? I don't think so. Oh, one thing I just want to shout out that was written in the chat from Melda is that do not email us at email Melda at webmaster at email contact at Reservoir Hill Association, because that goes to the entire board and Melda. So that, thank you, Melda. That's the better way to contact us if you want to get in contact. Please, I don't know how to emphasize this more. It's better not, unless like you spoke to someone and said, I'm going to email you. It's better just to email the entire board. I notice sometimes people just email me individually as president. I'm really just a meeting chair. And then I also chair our board meetings and I try to organize the organization and how we do things, but I don't make any individual decisions. So if you need a decision from the organization, you should email the board because I don't make the decisions. I just push that information forward. So if you want to speed things up, just email the entire board. It allows a step to be skipped, especially since most recently I've been dealing with some chronic health issues. And so things can really easily fall through the cracks if you only email me. And I am not well and I'm not checking my email. So please try to email contact at if you want to get in touch with all of us. So that was a really, really, really long discussion. So I'm going to go back to the presentation and go back to the and oh, sorry, and knock it back to Jerika.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I don't have much to say, and I'm sorry I'm on my phone because I'm working, but I had to stop and so we can get some information out. I did attend the wrap up the 40th District Legislators session briefing, and they all, just they had it was a good turnout. I think I was trying to count how many people in there, but I know they had at least 75 to maybe even over 100 people there, so they had an excellent turnout. And I just want to give an overview of some of the things that each delegate and the senator spoke about what their agenda is going to be for the 2025 session. Delegate Conway, he didn't have much to say, which is normally for him. The only thing he talked about was no trespassing and squatters. So, and I didn't know, I mean, he didn't have any slide presentation or anything. He just kind of just mentioned that and just, sat down. Matter of fact, they had given everybody so many minutes to speak, and I think his was probably less than 3 or 4 minutes. We also had Delegate Melissa Wells. She spoke about working on the Wanata project as well. She also spoke about apprenticeship utilization rates for state-funded projects. She also brought up about end pre-existing condition loopholes around genetic testing for cancer and ALS. And she also said she was going to introduce a prepaid postage for voting. When we get the mail-in ballots, they don't have any postage on it. So they're going to try to, I guess, see if the legislature vote on those envelopes being prepaid. And Senator Hayes, his whole agenda is going to be about Wanata. That's all he said. He just went into the different components of what Wanata is going to do for the various neighborhoods, meeting with the various neighborhoods, coming up some policies about Wanata, some of the altering some of the bills they have. Some people brought up about eminent domain. Um, he kind of elaborated a little bit on that aspect of it. um, they talked a little bit about the grocery, again, Wanata, but the grocery store being in the neighborhood. So his whole focus is going to be on this whole Wanata project for this corridor from was it Hilton Street to 83. Ampry, he had a couple ideas he wanted to speak about was Prison Education Delivery Reform Commission extension, which was going to extend the sunset period for the Prison Education Delivery Reform Commission. He also spoke about protecting the admissibility of creative expression, which is the PACE Act, and that's providing the creative expression of a criminal defendant or juvenile respondent is not admissible against the defendant or respondent unless the court makes certain findings. So whatever he was talking about on that. He also spoke about financial technology regulations and enhancing regulations around financial technology to create more avenues for innovative financial technology and for companies. He also wanted to do assisting companies in relocating their headquarters to Maryland due to the racial conservative policies of the current state that the company's headquarters are currently in. And he's calling it the headquarters relocation tax credit. And the business law code updates, he wanted to work on that, refining parts of the business code for Maryland. So those are some of the agenda items that they all spoke about. They did release their slide presentation. So if you want to find out, the extent to everything they spoke about, you can contact their office and they will definitely send it to you. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Jerika.
Mhm.
Any questions about the meeting from the crowd? Don't be shy.
Mhm.
We talk a lot in this meeting, so all right, we're gonna keep going. Lisa.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, apologies for coming in a little bit late. I had to take an important telephone call, so I apologize about that. And secondly, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope we're off to a great start. I guess a housekeeping matter, if you're we're tracking attendance at meetings for purposes of being eligible to vote. So we want to make sure that we include everyone. So if you could change your name, if for example you've only got your first name or your telephone number, if you could put a first and last name just for purposes of the meeting, so I can make sure that because I keep track of who's in attendance at the meetings. And so I just want to make sure everybody is, accounted for who's in attendance. We really appreciate your time. And we want to make sure that you're eligible to vote for anything that we have upcoming. So if you could just put that on, because I do write that down and make sure that I've accounted for everyone. Let's see. I'm hoping to get better at my secretarial duties. Last year was a bit crazy, so I hope to in the near future get all of my meeting notes online because it's easier uh, for you to follow what's going on, what we're doing. Particularly as it relates to Amtrak. So I'm hoping to get better at making sure that I get my notes transcribed, because I do it the old-fashioned way. So I want to make sure I get them transcribed and in the folder. So if you're not able to meet it or attend a meeting, you can just go look in the file and see what we talked about on some of the major issues and things like that, and action items, what have you. I'm also working on a list of resources for people regarding, you know, uh, complaint avenues that we can avail ourselves are with respect to the Amtrak tunnel project. There are a number of complaints outstanding, and I just think that we should.
My phone's on
cell phone data.
Oh, I just want to make sure that you can go to the website and click on whatever section we have for Amtrak and go see what we're doing. If there's any new action items, if there are any new steps that you should consider taking, if letters are coming out, just to sort of keep everybody updated. There's now going to be a Department of Government Efficiency that's going to be looking into Amtrak, hopefully. There's a hotline for that. So I want to make sure everybody has access to that so that we can pursue that. There's the Congressional Oversight Committee looking into Amtrak. We want to reach out to them. I want to encourage everyone to reach out to them. So I'm going to put that information on the website so that's, we can let our voices be heard, because that's going to be critical for this year. And I just think it's the best way to keep everybody up to date with what's going on, and just sort of keep it as cohesive as possible. Understanding that it's not the easiest thing to do because we are a collective, but I think it's the best way. So I want to make sure that we have those resources out there. And I'm going to put the hotline in the chat and the congressional oversight as well, but it will be on the website as well. And I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Lisa. I just want to, raise what's on your slide, just so that everyone knows. We need to make official changes to our board that will go into effect through an election. So just to reiterate what Lisa was just saying about changing your name. So this is not to call anyone out, but right now I see like someone that says iPhone 8. And iPhone 8, whoever you are, I want it to count that you're here, right? And that you're participating in this meeting. And for those of us who don't know and maybe haven't read our bylaws, the way that Reservoir Hill Association works, we don't vote very often. We vote for our board, and there are sometimes issues that might come up where we vote and have a stance on an issue. For example, say there is a grocery store opening up, but it's only selling liquor and candy. I'm thinking of like the most absurd like example. And we're like, we really want this grocery store, but can you sell vegetables, not just liquor and candy too? And that's our position. And we want to take this position as an organization. We might ask the entire membership to vote on that and say, hey, this is the position of the entire organization. This is how we feel about it. And you as a member have the right to vote for or against that position, right? But more often than not, the voting matters for us, right? For your representative board of directors. And so what we want to make sure is that if you are, for example, on a cell phone, because I know that it can be hard on a cell phone and you don't know how to change your name, you can also send a private message or just put your name in the chat and we can change it for you too. That way it's recorded. But we just want to make sure that everyone's name is here. So at the end of the meeting, we can say, Darnell was here, Melda was here, Greg was here, and we'll have a tally from each month that you were here for 50% of the meetings before a vote. So that's the rule, is to be in good standing. There are two things. You have to be there for 50% of the previous meeting. So it's January. So you would have needed to be here for half of the last year's meeting to be eligible. And the second thing that makes you in good standing is paying your dues. So before we hold an election like we are this year, we're going to reach out to everyone who might have one but not the other, right? So they might be on the precipice of hitting the 50%. If they go to the next meeting, they're going to be in good standing, and we want them to know that. Or we might reach out to you because you're in good standing, you come to every meeting, but you haven't paid your dues, to say, hey, just so you know, you're not in good standing because you haven't paid your dues. Would you like to pay? Is it a financial reason, like you're not able to pay for that reason, and then we'd waive it for that year? For the first year of you joining, you don't have to pay dues. You will be in good standing just from being here for 50% of the meetings. And then it's the second year that you are expected to pay dues. So that's a big overdraft, like overview of how to be a member in good standing. But we really want you, the idea isn't to be by the rules and by the book for everything. The goal is two things. We want, when we vote on an issue and we decide things, we want to be able to say our membership is educated on the issues. They know what we're talking about. We're not just making it up. That people have made this decision together as a group, as a community. And the second thing we want to do is make sure that when a hot button issue comes up, we don't get 600 people just showing up to one meeting, but they never go to any other meeting. They just come to that one meeting and bulldoze over everyone else who's more informed and has been here month after month and understands the issue in a more nuanced way. And so that's how we wrote our bylaws. And that's how we designed this whole thing. That's the idea of it. So I want to make sure that people don't think, oh, we're just trying to be exclusive and we want to keep people out. There should never be a financial obstacle to being a member in good standing, and there should never be a scheduling issue as to why you're not a member in good standing. So we want to make sure that this is equitable, but we also want to make sure that we're well educated on the issues and someone can't just come in and we've had examples of this where people are like, sadly, it'll be a landlord and they'll pay their tenants or not even a landlord. It could be anybody, right? It could just be anyone. Hey, I need you to steer the conversation in this group, so I'm going to pay you to show up to this meeting. And then a whole bunch of people show up to that one meeting and steer how the organization is run. And so that's kind of the way that we designed it so that it wouldn't happen that way, but also know that our bylaws are a living document. So if as the years go by, we see that a rule that we have instated for a certain purpose isn't meeting its purpose, our membership also is who can change that, right? Who can put forth an amendment to our bylaws to say, hey, this isn't working. We don't like it. We want to change it. And we put forth an amendment and then our membership votes to change it. And sorry, just one more thing that the membership does is they hold us accountable, right? As the president, anyone on the board, if you don't like how we're running things, or you think we're not running things, we're not showing up to stuff, we're not sharing stuff with you, we're being secretive, we're lying to you, we're stealing money. These are all things that have happened in our community. These are not just random examples. You can then say, I don't want you to be president anymore because you're not doing XYZ in the bylaws and you need to step down, and I'm going to put forth an investigation into your behavior. So hopefully you don't feel that way about me. Hopefully, I'm not saying that I want to be recalled in that way or anyone should be recalled in that way, but I want you to be clear on what the rights and responsibilities and the goals of developing an actual membership body means for us. And it's not about exclusivity. It's actually about inclusiveness and making sure that we're a well-regulated organization. And when we say we represent the voice of Reservoir Hill, that we're being honest about that. And there is a way to withdraw that if necessary, right? Because we've seen over the life of organizations in our community, things go really sideways, and it's really unclear on how to fix it. And so we want to make sure that if ever that should happen, whether it's with me or any future president or any future iteration of the board, that we know how to reel that in and make the organization work the way that it needs to for the community. So all that being said, if you are interested in any of the above positions that are open, including mine, the president, vice president, the treasurer, I don't think marketing and communications chair is open. Daryl, is that true? No, it's not. And the architectural and historic chair. If you're interested in any of those positions, please let us know. I do believe at this point, because the election hasn't officially been held. So after that point, it would look a little bit different. So please let us know as soon as possible if you have any questions about that. I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to read, I don't think Chet is here. Chet has officially stepped down, but he's here kind of like in a supportive capacity until we're able to find a new treasurer. So he's still kind of helping us maintain our books and everything, but he's not available at this time. He's taken on additional responsibilities, and he is not able to give all the energy that he used to give to the organization. But he did leave us with this end of the year report. And as you can see, over the last year, from January 1st, 2024 to November 10th, 2024, we had a total income of $17,081.86, and 6 cents, not 86, just 6 cents. And you can see the details of how that happened. I think one of our biggest sources of income were donations and fundraising through work that I believe Carson Ward did, as well as Janae McLean on the garden home tour. And our expenses in total were $9,451.74. And as you can see, our largest expense is the garden home tour. And followed by Paws and Peeps. And then everything else is pretty nominal. The Garden Home Tour is one of our big fundraising events. And so our goal there is not only to showcase the community, but also bring in some income for our operating costs for the year. And Paws and Peeps was a new event this year that was extremely popular and extremely cute. And I think probably later in the conversation, we'll see some pictures from that. Really quickly, we have a vacancy for the Architecture and Historic Committee. This is really a very, very, very important chair. If you're interested in historic preservation, if you're interested in making historic preservation less painful for the community, if you feel like you want to learn more about what it looks like to maintain your home as a homeowner or a renter, or maybe you just think history is fun, this might be the chairship for you. So please do reach out to, again, contact at reservoirhillassociation.org if you want to learn more about that position. Passing it on to you, Janae.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. So I wanted to start off with a quick recap because we had an amazing year, 2024. So this is just a few highlights to remember some of the wonderful things that we did last year. Some of them fall under events, some of them fall under other committees, and then some of them fall under us representing RHA at other events. So for our first quarter, I think one of the highlights was a live event at the synagogue where we were able to hear information about Amtrak. We have participated in several or a couple of the Live Baltimore events, as well as some green up cleanups. And as all of this was going on, we were doing our planning for our 2024 Garden and Home Tour, which kicked off over the first weekend in June, which is going to be our standing time or our standing time frame for hosting the Garden and Home Tour event. And then we also were able to participate at the Dorothy I. Height Back to School fair. And then we kind of, the end of the year jumped off, seemed a little bit even more active than the beginning of the year, where we were carrying forward the Paws and Peeps, which was a brainchild of one of our neighbors, Anissa. Lambertus. And as Keandra mentioned, it was very successful, a great way to meet new neighbors and really have conversations about important things while the pets kind of played with one another. We learned more about different things related to pet ownership, pet responsibility, and things of that nature. Then we did our candy crawl, which is an annual event where it's really an opportunity for folks to just come out, meet neighbors, see the wonderful creativity with all of the different costumes that the kitties in the neighborhood have. And then we also had our annual live RHA event. So again, all of this culminated into a wonderful year. And so for moving on to 2025, our big thing right now is that it's time to start planning for our 2025 garden and home tour. So our next meeting, which we will discuss some of the responsibilities, some of the appointments, ways to get people out, as well as different people wanting to serve as a host for the garden and home tour. So all of that is going to start. All of those activities are going to start, and our next meeting is next week, next Thursday on the 23rd at 7 p.m. So if you will check out our community calendar, you can get all of the details about joining us and really working together so that we can showcase our wonderful neighborhood. So that's all I have. I'm turning it back over to you, Keandra.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what I did to your slides, and I'm having trouble escaping to
Can you back it up one more?
There we go. I see it now.
Okay.
Okay. I truly don't. Okay, I'll do it this way. Bam. Okay. But you already went through this slide, so now you're going to go through to Lauren.
Yep.
Oh, you found me. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. So the Green Committee did meet last evening, and our conversations are primarily geared toward having more conservation conversations in the community relevant to things similar to the event that may be coming to our area as a result of the tunnel, how we can clean up, the air, and contribute, to the environment overall. The conversation will consider a lot of things, how to just really fortify ourselves with nature moving forward in the future, how to dispose of things properly, what things can be disposed of in which ways. We had a call that talked about, we had a person on the call, Cara. Cara is on the call tonight, and she worked with us last year at the Big Jump, which is coming up on January 18th, Martin Luther King weekend, which is a combination of Remington and other communities coming together to, provide cleaning for the overall Reservoir Hill community, which is a great event. But we talked about beautification as a part of the project for RHA's Green Committee. Cara said she knows someone who has a native florist plant shop that may be interested in donating plants. We want to replant on the triangle, not for the Big Jump, but just in the future. It's one of our projects where the plants were removed that we initially put it out there. So just to continue in our beautification efforts in the community and education efforts in the community. So yeah, we got the Big Jump. I hope everybody, there's a registration form attached to the flyer. If you register and pay attention to the location, meetup time, date, location, and just come and be excited to contribute to the beautification of our community. Yeah, January 18th, we'll be meeting at the Church of the Guardian Angel at 335 West 27th Street. Kids are welcome. It is kid friendly. Supplies and treats will be provided. And use the barcode, use your smartphone, use the barcode and sign up so they'd have a head count so that everybody will have everything they need to be successful. And just being excited that it's another opportunity to network, to get to know your neighbors and get to rub elbows with one another. We do want to have conversations around the tunnel, around the ventilation system, and hoping to find occupied spaces and maybe find space in St. Francis, Lakeview Towers, and the high-rise buildings on Jewett Park Lake Drive to reach the people. If we can find different times in March, springtime, to start reaching out, holding conversations in the community. So that was about what we did, our meeting last night. We had a good year in 24. We had several cleanup events. And yeah, just stay in touch. Let's go. We'll see what's coming up.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome, Kendra.
And what is the next cleanup after this January one?
Okay, so that was another thing. The 311 person we speak with every year, Alan, I spoke with him to schedule our future dates. He said that they have a revision in process and that they would contact us. They're redoing the process. He couldn't give me any information, like was it scheduling? What was it that they're doing? Because he only took our information. He took my first request.
Okay.
And that will be in February.
Okay.
He said he would get the rest of them when he calls back, but they're restructuring how they do the dumpsters. And once they finish what they have to do, he'll reach out to everybody individually and, try to honor the schedules, I guess.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
You're welcome. All right.
And just noted, Lauren and Darnell Schaefer in 2025 will be working as co-chairs together. Darnell is on the call tonight, but I just wanted to highlight that for everyone. So there's a little bit of a shift with the Green Committee where Darnell and Lauren will be partners in crime in making sure the green agenda is pushed forward in the community. Okay, I'll keep going. Daryl.
Good evening, everyone. Marketing is getting up to speed. Marketing started out slow in the new year, but marketing is getting up to speed. We do have a public information page now for Facebook. We are going to schedule the meetings as events on our public information page. So moving forward, all of our standing committee meetings will already be events on Facebook. And I don't have it on there, but we will be on LinkedIn this month as well. So our information will continue to expand as we continue to reach as many people as possible, so that individuals know who we are as a community neighborhood association and what our mission is, and how everyone can be involved in the community's growth, in the community's efforts to fortify itself and to make our community a part of the vibrant growth that is on the horizon. So we will continue to utilize and expand our social media reach. And again, for those individuals on the call that are interested in marketing, that have background or that are presently involved in social media, marketing would love to have you. Please reach out to marketing@reservoirhillassociation.org and join the team. We have continued with um, the website remix. We wanted to give individuals more information on what the individual committees, what they are and what they do. We also have a committee that could utilize an individual that would be interested in further educating the community with our issues and education committee. That committee chairperson could work with Lisa to flesh out more information involving Amtrak and our opposition to Amtrak in our neighborhood, as well as our staunch opposition to Amtrak putting a ventilation facility in our neighborhood and beside our elementary school. For those individuals who are unaware, the ventilation facility would be utilized in an emergency in order to send pollutants from the tunnel vented out into the atmosphere, and that would be it would be in our neighborhood across the street from North High Elementary. So issues in education, we would love to have someone to uh, if you're interested, just putting that out there. Um, we're going to this week we will get on the big block party, which came out of our annual in-person meeting last year. So welcome letters will go out to individuals, and we will go from there in our in envisioning this block party in order to uh, uh, further galvanize our neighborhood and to continue to spread community wide, east, north, south, and west. Social media content, like I said, we the marketing committee uh, caught the bug and and also got the COVID booster. So marketing was down for a hot second, um, but we are up and running. Our January newsletter will be published next on that Monday, which I believe is also planning and committees meeting. We have we're working on new media content and new ways and formats. So we uh, I have an example on that of the next slide. What we are missing is our updated YouTube channel, but we're going to get there faster than that 213. I'm going to make sure that the October meeting is up by tomorrow so that if you need to go back and so that those individuals can review that information before the 18th meeting. So, without further ado, here is an example of our new media. Oh, no volume.
I was trying to decide what they're gonna do with us. So the second night, Will Cunning came in, said, we're gonna take us back to the Tennessee line, take us back to Nashville, Tennessee. We took us out of the jail cell. We got on the outside, they had 2 police cruisers and a limousine, loaded us up with our luggage, and started driving 1 o'clock in the morning. We didn't know exactly where we were going, and couldn't see. It was dark. As a matter of fact, they told us to make sure you keep the windows closed and so forth. That's what was taking us back towards Nashville to make sure nobody saw us.
That person speaking was Dr. William Harbour, an original Freedom Rider, and my uncle. So that is all that marketing has. Look for the
And in jail overnight.
our YouTube page to be populated with our the October meeting, and it will be labeled so that individuals will know to check this meeting for that information, and then we will start backdating and getting all those YouTube videos from our meetings up with descriptions and other information so that you're able to access the information. And that's all that I have.
Thank you so much, Daryl. That was awesome. Arlen is out of town. He has had a death in the family and he cannot be here tonight. And so we send all our love to Arlen and his family. But I think that he would probably reiterate the goal of attending this Saturday's meeting in regards to WNATA, because he has been really crucial to that work. But I am not aware of any additional announcements outside of that. Rolando, Safety Committee.
Good evening, everyone. December report from the Western District is as follows for our community. There was a total of 8 events, which consists of 1 homicide, 2 commercial robbery, 1 residential robbery, 2 aggravated assault, 1 larceny from auto, and 1 stolen auto. The Western District is participating in the Junior Public Safety Cadet, which is a once a week after school program for ages 14 to 20. You can receive additional information by contacting Sergeant McMillan at 410-241-7732. And that's basically what I have for
Thank
today.
you, Rolando. Do you
And
mind?
just in regards to planning and development, just want to inform you all that the work appears to begin at 701 Druid Parkway Drive.
Okay.
That's the corner of Druid Parkway Drive and Park.
The work is beginning there?
Yes, work begun.
Okay. I can't think of, I actually have to pull up on my phone what property that is exactly.
That's the Pavis property that came to us for the BMZ that wanted our support for the change in parking. No additional.
Oh, I see. Like over a year ago.
Yes. Over a year ago.
That one that they were going to make it into a smaller units in the building. They're beginning work now.
Yes.
Okay. And it's like 2 twin buildings almost. It's very large, and it was
Yes,
originally an apartment building. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's good news, actually. Okay. So those are all of our announcements for tonight. I guess, and we are now at 8 o'clock. And I believe that we can open up it to any questions. If anyone has any urgent questions or announcements. Janae says in the chat, please note we have 2 events for Saturday. Both require participants to register. The Big Jump Cleanup and the afternoon conversation with Senator Hayes. So check our calendar for more information. So Saturday is a really busy day for everyone. There's quite a gap in between, right? Because the Senator Hayes conversation starts at 4 and the Big Jump Cleanup ends at 12:30. So you could technically do both, right? Is what I'm saying. The Big Jump Cleanup is really a wonderful event and a wonderful way to meet folks from the Remington community and build alliances between the communities. So I really encourage people to attend that. And I also very much encourage you to attend the afternoon conversation with Senator Hayes. To reiterate what Janae is saying here, our calendar has all the information if you're confused about the timing and all of that. And Melda has added the calendar link to the chat. So thank you, Melda, for doing that. Any additional questions, concerns, announcements from people in attendance that might be good for the group? Eric, I see you on the call. Did you want to share anything? Oh, sorry, Sandra, you went off mute. Did you have something to share?
Yes, it's regarding the tunnel.
Okay.
I got a letter today about the second offer letter, which is the same amount as previously, and the request for a survey to complete a survey. So, I don't know what follows that or what it's all about. It's similar to the first offer letter that they sent.
And if you don't mind me asking, what was the timeline they gave you of response to the second one? Did they give you like 2 weeks, a month?
They didn't give us a timeline. They just said the same thing about, that this is a follow-up from the offer dated August 29th of last year. And please note that Amtrak is not acquiring your entire property, surface structures or surface land. And then it goes on to list the compensation amount, and it's similar, except that there is no time, no date to respond. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm telling a story. February 15th. February 15th.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sandra. Thanks for sharing
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome.
Keandra, I'm sorry, I meant to put up my hand, but I'm looking at one that another neighbor dropped off today. And they're requesting acknowledgement of receipt by February 1st, 2025.
Okay.
So yeah, again, it's an acknowledgement of the receipt, which of course, we know they're able to track anyway,
Right.
but that was a letter that came out December 17th, 2024. I think it's the same thing where they're staggering who they send them out to, just to, sort of keep everybody separate and apart. I think that's kind of like their strategy.
Yes.
Because it's just an acknowledgement of a receipt, not an acceptance of not asking whether or not you're going to accept the offer. So
thank you, Lisa, for reiterating that. And for anyone who, again, is getting a letter or just received a letter or maybe wants to review the October meeting, Daryl has said that he would upload them by tomorrow night. Wendy, or Michael?
Yes, thank you. This is Michael Wisner. My wife, Wendy, and I, we received our initial offer letter from Amtrak about sometime in November with requested acknowledgement date of December 31st.
Okay.
We acknowledged it and almost the same day received um, a response from the lady from JMT, who I guess is handling the outreach via email, telling us the offer had been increased. But we had also reached out to the two contacts at the community law center, provided the information requested, and we didn't even receive a response from them or acknowledgement that they had even received our email at all.
Okay.
And so we also attended the meetings at the elementary school about I guess this was November-ish as well,
Right.
about submitting a complaint. And so we reached out to lots of different emails. We reached out to I believe it was Carson's email address as well, and we just haven't gotten any responses from either Community Law Center or the BP Working Group email.
Okay.
So, I guess we're trying to figure out like what do we do next. I guess
Okay.
we can obviously acknowledge receipt of this
Right.
second email, but we were hoping to get, at this point now it's been like 2 or 3 months that we haven't heard back from Community Law Center, and
Right.
now it feels like we're deeper in the process. So
That's right.
any thoughts you have on that would be great. We're going to continue to try and work through Community Law Center, but with no responses from multiple people from there, that seems a bit of a dead end.
Red flag. Yeah. So we're hearing that from a lot of people, and that has raised some serious concerns about their responsiveness and commitment to our community. We are trying to figure out what our strategy is with them while also exploring other legal avenues, like other organizations that we can work with that might be able to center this particular issue. And it sounds like probably the best next step is to actually hold a follow-up meeting with just the Reservoir Hill Association, because this is particular to us. I'm not sure, and it's actually a good question. Maybe some folks are on the call, but maybe they don't want to talk about it right now if they have a similar issue with not hearing back from the CLC in a timely manner. But we've heard that from multiple folks that they've emailed them, called them, and they just have not responded or even indicated that they received the call or the email. And that really concerns us, because the main goal of us signing up with the CLC as RHA was that individual folks would get legal representation and legal help. That's pretty much the only reason we signed up with them. And we took a really long time to commit to that, because we really wanted to make sure that they were really in our corner and ready to fight and advocate on behalf of our community members who have very specific needs and wants. So based on what you say and like what we've heard from a lot of people, it sounds like some decisions have to be made and some advocacy has to happen. And I'm sorry that this has been in your experience. I also know that Carson has been super busy with bigger strategy issues, as you can imagine. And I think this is fine for everyone to know. With the election of Donald Trump, there are a lot of considerations to be made on what's possible and what's not possible with the new administration, and how what we are doing strategically to kind of stop this project, and how what the strategy looks like under a full Republican administration, which is very different than under Biden. And so I know that that's where Carson has been focusing her energy since the election. So that might be why you haven't gotten a lot of responses from her, but I'm happy to tap her and let her know that you've been trying to get in contact with her. So sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate hearing that, and I appreciate knowing that we're not alone in experiencing that
No.
from the community law center. We were just kind of at a loss. We keep attending the meetings and hearing, we got to coordinate and we have these resources, and then they kind of came up dry. So it's good to know it wasn't just us.
No.
And as we continue to pursue other avenues as well, we'll share any resources that we find. Thank you.
Awesome. And we'll reach out to RHA and the Historic Mount Royal, like a few organizations in Reservoir Hill are signed up with CLC. So I don't know if it's just a RHA issue or is it a larger issue? Probably not the best place to have the conversation, but once I do, I guess we can circle back and figure out how systemic it is that people are facing this, and then what will we do, right? Like we need to come up with new solutions because it's very hard to find a lawyer in this issue. So we know that we need to do it as a group. Like that is how we're going to secure representation is as a group, because it's really hard to do it individually. But we do have options, and I think what the next step here is really meeting as a group again and letting everyone know what those are. So thanks for raising that. I really appreciate it, Michael. Any other questions or concerns or announcements that people want to make for the good of the
Hey,
group?
I know you was
Hey,
calling.
yes.
How you doing? Happy New Year. I saw the Amtrak questions coming in. I got my letter too, just let you know. And I
Okay.
did seek some legal advice, and same boat. It's better to be together than apart with everything. So I do have some suggestions, but that's another conversation for
Yeah.
later. But I did want to get some updates on kind of the Tune-Up City building and what's going on with everything. Yes, the bodega is open. That did happen. And if you go in there, you'll see some of the beautiful finishes and things as well. But also, I'm not super prepared to show everything today, but we can definitely schedule that for another time. But we also have some big things that's coming in regards. We're still looking for a restaurant space. Any potential folks that would love to entertain that idea or see that coming to fruition, we're still shopping that around. And also, we have some big workshops that's coming up with some development, real estate investing, kind of generational wealth, building wealth, and also some do-it-yourself type of home improvement workshops where we're train folks hands-on experience and learn some of the trades as well. So that's going to be launching probably within the next 3 weeks. We're advertising information this week now, getting folks prepared. But a lot of stuff is happening. But I definitely would love to schedule something where we be prepared, have some slides, and let you know what's coming. But appreciate you calling out on that, and just wanted to give everybody a quick update. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we want
Absolutely.
everyone to peek their head in, check it out. You're open fully, right? And people can go in and shop and check out what's
Yeah.
going on in there, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And it's like a soft open, so still working it out. Give us your feedback on things, and we're a community. We're working together. Just looking forward to the opportunity, just bringing some different things within that building, and finally bringing that building to life. I know it's been a long, long time coming, but we're slowly getting there. But that was a big part of it to help with sustaining some of the building costs. Now the biggest thing is definitely adding some value with some of the educational series that we want to add in that building and empowering the neighborhood.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Daryl?
Not a problem.
I just want to let Eric know that he's also on the big block party. But
Oh, I'm still there. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm
here we
looking forward.
come. Here
I
we
am
come.
waiting. Me and my wife are there. We're
But
ready.
if you send me the information on the educational things that you have upcoming, I'll make sure that they go out in our channels.
Absolutely, I will do. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're heading towards the end of our time together. We usually try to cap it at an hour and 30, and it looks like we're going to stop a little early. But there was one thing that I was pinged on that I would like to share. There are a group of, oh, sorry, before I move on, Courtney Burton said, what's the address for the new space Eric just mentioned? I think I missed that. It's on Whitelock and Park, like right above Park. What's the actual address, Eric? Do you know? Of Tuna?
Yes, it's 701 Whitelock.
Oh, 701 Whitelock. Thank you.
Okay.
So it's really nice. I think that's the only corner store of its kind in that part of the neighborhood. Like if you wanted to get some snacks or like a quick something from a store, you would have to walk right all the way up to Linden, near Druid Park Lake Drive. So if you're on the south side of the community, if you're on the east side of the community, that's pretty much the only closer. It's really central. I'd say White Lock kind of cuts our neighborhood in half, but if you're on the south side of the community, that's the closest corner store that you'll have in quite a distance. I actually don't know. So do check it out, walk by. If you're on White Lock, peek your head in and let us know what you think. I'd like to know. I haven't been able to go in, but when I was dropping my daughter off at school this morning, she was very excited and very curious. So we probably will be in this week for sure. Like I was saying, a group of neighbors have brought to our attention some concerns about the neighborhood, some neighborhood installations that are planned, specifically cross walk art. And they would like to let other neighbors know that there is opposition to the way that art installations have made its way into our neighborhood. Actually, during our annual meeting at the school, it was raised to us that oftentimes public art installations in communities are targeted towards only Black communities in Baltimore City, and that oftentimes it seems as if it's a marker of majority Black communities where these art installations are placed without any community support, without community backing, and without community oversight. And so it might sound a little wild because you're like, why would anyone oppose art? Art is beautiful. I love art. I work in the arts personally. So I love public art and I love giving artists opportunities to show their art publicly. But I think the larger concern is about consent, community involvement, and community oversight of these installations. And so if you also feel the same way, if you feel that your rights as a community member are being overridden and that you're not really seeing your voice being brought to the table as these decisions are made, whether they be murals or the painting of intersections, I think this particular neighbor was raising the concern that these projects are usually granted by larger nonprofits that give organizations in the community large sums of money to do this for the community. The idea is that it's for the community, yet the community actually never has a say on what it looks like, who's hired, what is painted in the community. And oftentimes these installations are permanent or semi-permanent. And so I think the overall advocacy around this is just calling this out, making arts organizations and other organizations that fund this type of work more aware of the importance of the community voice component, and making sure that the way that the funds are distributed. The organization that's spearheading this most recent installation has a link to provide input, but it appears that they don't want any input. And I believe the organization is Reservoir Hill Improvement Council. I think there's some back and forth on their Instagram. I'm speaking from a place of ignorance because I have no idea about this discussion at all. I'm just bringing it forth because someone brought it to me and they wanted the group to know. But they do not feel comfortable saying it publicly, it seems. Again, if this is a passion of yours, if you feel equally upset, if you feel like this is a thing that we should take on as an organization, or that you as an individual or a group of people would like to take on, let the board know. We'll pass on your information to these individuals and you all can connect around this issue. I think that covers it. I hope I did a good job of relaying that information. And also in the chat is the Instagram account for LAID23, which is the organization that helps support these this programming and also the development of this corner store in 701 Whitelock, also known as Tune Up City. So if you would like to know a little bit more about that organization, go to Instagram and you can see that in chat. It's LLAYD23 is their Instagram account name. Okay. So I'm gonna make one final call for any announcements, anything that you'd like to share for the good of the group. Going once, going twice. All right, so we are done. This is the first meeting of our new year. Thank you so much for staying for the entire meeting. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday, either at the Green Up Cleanup or in the evening at Dorothy I. Height Elementary School, or at all the various committee meetings throughout the month, and then back again in February when we meet again as a group. We look forward to seeing you in the neighborhood, and stay warm. One final thing, if anyone has family in California, sending you also love for all the devastation out there and the numerous things that have happened in New Orleans, in all across the country. Things feel really chaotic. And if your family was affected by any of those things, just sending you love and hope that the new year continues on a little bit better than it's begun, and that we can have healing as a country as we move forward. And that's it. Have a good night. Enjoy your rest, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
No.
Bye.
Beautiful people.